All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Randy.
Today is Daf Yud Gimel. Anybody who has to leave early, like in 15 minutes or whatever, the plan is to just finish the parak today, and then we'll start the next parak tomorrow. All right.
Almost done.
So we left off yesterday. We had a shiloh of a case of a person who has a piece of meat, and there's a piece of shlamim meat out there, and he says, "Harei zeh kazeh." This is like this. So Izzy matfis bi karo, and lamaisa. This was a shlamim, and one who is matfis to a korban, therefore creates an isser, and therefore it will be aser. Or this shlamim meat is now in a permitted state, and therefore he's not making a nether, he's not asking anything. So that was the shaila posed by, I think, is it Ram Barchama? I don't know. I don't remember. Let me see. I don't know. I think it's Amar Aleph somewhere. Okay. No, fine. I know. I think it was even earlier than that. Yeah. Yeah, by Ram Barchama. Yeah. Mute Aleph from these guys. All right. So Gar says we are now Lema Kitanai, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the bottom on Yud Beis on base. So Lema Kitanai, let's say this question is actually Machlokes Tanaim. A person says, Harei alai kebechor. A person says, behold, this is upon me like a bechor. Now, a bechor is an animal who is a firstborn, right? And it goes to the Kohanim who have to offer it unless it's a mum, but it's sanctified as a bechor and it's a korban. So Rabbi Yaakov, or you say Rabbi Yaakov says it's aser. And Rabbi Yehuda matir, and Rabbi Yehuda says it's mutter. In other words, it's not a neder. If he says harei alai kebechor, and let's see, hey chidami. Now, what's this machlokes here? If it's before zrikas damim, the animal is before that it was offered, and therefore the meat is not permitted to go ahead and be consumed by the kohanim. So my time demand the shari. What is the reason according to the opinion who says it's mutter? If it's after it's heter achila, my time of demand the asar. What is the reason according to asar? Elav, rather not. Let's say, what's this machlokes? The machis basar bechor, machis basar deheich. Let's say a piece of bechor meat is sitting there, and the and the other piece of meat that he wants to go ahead and aser the gabe the omar, and he says kazeh. This should be like this. The tanai. And it's a machlokes tanaim. So is this not this? So we see it's a machlokes tanaim between Rabbi Yaakov and Rabbi Yehuda, and l'chayr it's the same shayla. So he says, no, that's not necessarily the case. Maybe over here it's even before the zrigas dam, and there's no heter achila then. Umay time of demand the shari. What's the reason according to the one who says shari amakra ki yidor? It says ki yidor ad sheyidor bedavar hanadur. Right? Until you make a nether in something that was forbidden through a nether. Lafuke bechor, the davar asru. That is a davar asru. In other words, a bechor is something that is born sanctified. It's not something that a person creates the isser and says harei zeh chatos, harei zeh bechor. Right? You don't have to do that. So therefore, that's the reason why.
So hang on.
I'm hanging out. Yeah.
We're all hanging
When we
out.
say when you make a nether, you say harei like a korban. It's like a korban.
Yeah.
Does that have to be a korban that you know there, like in the
Yes.
and the double only?
Yes.
Like we learned in the sukkah. So
Yeah.
not a korban chata. It's not.
So we'll see about chatas and ashram. We're going to see right now. Let's see. But those you do have to sanctify. The question is, you can't really bring in a dava as those. Right.
From the sukkah at the beginning, we learned and the Darm and the doubles together.
Right. So let's see. So he says, no, because it's davar asr. Uman the asr. No one says asr. It's born sanctified. So it's not a davar hanadur. Uman the Amakra, the pasuk says lahashem. It says lahashem. The rabbi is davar asr. Right. And now it says lahashem. To even include davar asr, even something that was nether lahashem. So therefore, even something that was born, right? Asr, i.e. was born as a bechor. Nevertheless, that's included since it's in the parsha of karbanos. Therefore, you can go ahead to be matfis to a bechor. Uman deshari. And one who says that it's mutter is no. There's no nether here, and therefore the Hashem is not used to darshan to include a bechor as a to be matfis as a davar another. So my avilei, what does he do? The matfis bechatas v'yasham. To include the chatas and asham. Now chatas and asham, right? Even though a person designates an animal as that, But lamaisa, right? The animal is brought as a korban is brought from a chait. So what do you see fit to include that a person can be matfis with it? Like if he says hareza kachatas, hareza kaashim, that would work. To exclude a bechor, that it's not worked. So marbani chatas ashim shu matfis beneder might see anis a bechor shu kadosh right? I would include chatas and ashim because the ma'asik comes from an avera, right? Nevertheless, it's something that you have to go ahead and be makdish and sanctify, right? You have to designate an animal for a chatas or for your asham. Aman the aser. And according to Penny bechor nami matisa beneder, who it's actually you also designated, right? Even the tiny learner by some Mishum Rabbi Amru Minayla Nolad bechor b'seich beiso shemitza lakdisha. Where do we know that the person has a bechor born to him? That's a mitzvah to makdish. Shnamar hazachar takdish, right? Nevertheless, it's a mitzvah. So since it's a mitzvah to say harei zeh bechor, right? So therefore, it's included to be matvis as a davar another. Uman the Shaiwan says mutter kilo magdish lei milo mikdash. Right? Even if he doesn't designate it as a not a bechor, it is a bechor. So therefore, yes, it's only a little mitzvah. So it's not. It's considered to be a davar aser and not considered to be a davar mad. Right. Yeah. Let me one before. I mean, when Ozzy was asking the question. All right, now, so we had a quote from the Mishnah. We can find it. Lambs. We're talking about different parts that are offered. No, it was after that one, right? So we said over there, Keimra, Kadirim, Ke'etzim, Ke'eshim, Kemizbech. Now, all the ones were with a cuff, right? So like a lamb, like, right? Now, so that was what we said earlier. So we said Keimra, Kadirim, Satana, Imra, Le'imra, Keimra. Right? According to this Tana, right? In our Mishnah, we had the whole case in Rabbi Huda at the end. We said maybe the whole thing is Rabbi Huda. So now, Imra, Le'imra, Keimra. Person says a lamb, and we're going to finish the sentence after all these expressions. It says a lamb, Le'imra, right? To a lamb, right? Or Keimra, like a lamb. Dirim, Ladirim, Kedirim, all of them are going to be the plain word with a le, to, and the ke, like, right? So dirim has to do with pens, two pens, right? Or enclosures, whatever, Kedirim, or like them, or eitzim, a wood, or eitzim, two wood, or ke'eitzim, Eishim, the Ishim, Ke'ishim, or fires, Mizbeach, La Mizbeach, Kemizbeach, a Mizbeach, to the Mizbeach, like the Mizbeach. Heichal to the Heichal, Yushalayim, Kiyushalayim. All these expressions, any one of these, right? Kulan, all of them, if he follows up Sha'aychalacha, so anything he says, let's go with the first one, right? He says, a lamb, Sha'aychalacha, right? That I eat of yours. So now this is referring to a lamb, which is offered, right? A mizbeach, a wood, that's used in mizbeach, right? All these things they have is shaykh to karbanos. Aser.
So we're still talking about kinuyim.
No, these are not kinuyim.
They're not.
No, kinuyim was a special lashon we had where there was this strange lashon, right? That was the kinuyim. It's not the regular lashon neder. You're right. It's not the standard lashon neder. We want to know what qualifies as a neder. So now, one of the things that we referred by karbanos, right, konem, and all those things, those are right. It has to do with kinuyim. But over here, this is normally a korban. This to me is a korban. Let's say he just says a lamb, or he says a mizbeach. He didn't say korban. He said because his pasuk is korban Hashem. He says a lamb. So a lamb is like a korban. Mizbeach is like a korban. So therefore, it's shy of a neder.
All this association with
Still talking about yados.
Not necessarily even a yad, right? We're talking about what is considered, right? What is considered to be a korban, right? What is considered, if you say, can I just say a lamb? Is that considered to be a korban?
But I didn't see in the Masechta all these letters.
By Nadarim,
Is it because the precaution of neder is so crucial?
Yeah, and also neder is one of those things that there's no mice, right? There's no mice. Most things a person violates, he can't get a lot, right? Over here. So now, so let's see. So all these cases, she'echel aser. So all this aser. If he says now, Imra la'eichalacha, if he follows up with like any of these expressions, right? Like a lamb, to a lamb, la'eichalacha, that I don't eat of yours, mutter. It's mutter. Okay. Basically, he's saying that which you don't eat of yours is a lamb, right? Or a korban. So now that was the price. Who is the opinion who doesn't differentiate between a lamb to a lamb or like a lamb? That's Rabbi Meir. That's Rabbi Meir. In other words, it's not like our Mishnah, not like Rabbi Yehuda. Same as Seifa. The Seifa says, all these expressions, he says, a lamb that I don't eat of yours is mutter. I got Tanan. We learn in the Mishnah, which I think this is the next Mishnah. La karban la eichelacha, in around 6 lines, right? La karban la eichelacha. Rabbi Meir Eiser. Wait, if he says la karban, right? La eichelacha. Rabbi Meir says Aser. But all Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Meir over there says Nase ka'aimer la karban. The reason why over there now, normally Rabbi Meir does not infer, as I said earlier. So if one says la karban la eichelacha, not a korban, that which I don't eat of yours. In other words, that which I do eat of yours is a korban, which would be a mechlal, right? Which you're only an inference. And Rabbi Meir says, Aser. So why is that? So Rabbi Abba explains, Nase ka'aimer la korban. He's not saying right? He's saying la korban yiyeh, right? He's not saying la korban, not a korban. He's saying la korban, right? A korban. Your food is right. Yeah, there it should be. Laficha, therefore, la'eichelacha. Right? In other words, he's not saying la korban la'eichelacha. He just says la korban. We learn from there la'eichelacha. Yeah, therefore he can't go ahead and eat them. So what about in this case? Why don't we say in this case, right? Why in these cases, if he says, right, le'imra, right, le'imra should be le'imra. Right? You just explain the same thing. So lo imra. One he says lo imra. Right? In other words, it's not an imra, and therefore over there's the whole inference. And diamar leimra. But if he says to a lamb, in other words, with the shval, in other words, this is what it is, then it's going to then the halach is la'eichelacha. Then he's forbidden to eat from it. Fine. Now Mishnah. Mishnah says, Ha'aymer karban oila mincha tchatas toda shlamim, any of these karbanos shani eichelacha, that which I eat of yours, aser. Rabbi Yehuda mater. Rabbi Yehuda says mutter because he didn't use the ka, right? Rabbi Yehuda holds, as we saw earlier in the Mishnah, right? Like we saw in the other Mishnah, right, where he says. Kidirim, ki'etzim, ki'eshim, kimizbeh, kill, light. Right, so now it's light. Over here, it's just the word. A mincha. That which you eat of yours is nothing. A shlam, right? Doesn't work. Rabbi Yehuda mater. Ha-korban, ki-korban, korban. One who says ha-korban, ki-korban, or korban, that which you eat of yours, is aser. That is aser. If he says ha-korban, ki-korban, or korban, that eat of yours is aser. Lekorban la'eichelacha. Rabbi Meir aser. Now, so that was the line we just had earlier, right? Where it says lekorban should be korban, therefore la'eichelacha Rabbi Meir aser. That's what Rabbi Abba explained. Now, Katani, it says over here. Let's look at the second part. It says korban ha-korban ki-korban she'eichelacha aser. So it says korban ha-korban ki-korban she'eichelacha stam tana Rabbi Meir. It's like Rabbi Meir. Right, because he doesn't differentiate between imra, leimra, keimra, and Rabbi Yehuda you have to say ke, right? So obviously, whoever taught korban ha-korban ke-korban is not Rabbi Yehuda. Who argues Rabbi Yehuda? So Rabbi Meir in this parsha. So Rabbi Meir, aditani ha-korban she'eichelacha aser. If he says ha-korban she'eichelacha is aser, v'atanya we learn in the brayso ma'idem chalin Rabbi Yehuda, ba'aymer ha-korban v'ha'ola. One that says, right, ha-korban, right, like behold, you touch that word, ha-korban, ha'ola, right, all those that I eat of yours is mutter. Why is that? Isn't he calling it korban? It means like, my gosh, right? My chatas, right? In other words, my lamb, right? All these cases, it's an expression, right? Korban, right? He's saying, ha-korban, right? Behold korban. He's not saying ha-korban, it should be a korban. He's saying, buy a korban that which I eat of yours. But he didn't say anything, right? So it sounds like it's he's saying another. Therefore, it's mutter. So why does our Mishnah say ha-korban shayich lecha is aser? But see over there, if someone says ha-korban shayich lecha is mutter. The Gemara says, like Asher, ha de amar ha-korban. If he says ha-korban, so then that's like another. Ha de amar ha-korban, right? The korban. So my timer, chai korban kamar. Right? Here it says because he's saying chai korban. Right. Vaha. Right. Now, so okay. So my time is chai korban kamar. Fine. So Tani, it says la korban la eichel lecha. It says Meir Isaac. The person says la korban la eichel lecha is aser. I let's take Rameir Michal Lavata Shemein. I doesn't infer. So how could it be right? Not a korban that which you don't eat of yours, but that which you do of yours is aser. That's an inference, right? Some Rabbi Abba Nasek Kaimer la korban. Yeah. But you make it like he's not saying la korban. It's not a korban. Right? He's saying la korban. It should be a korban. Yeah. Therefore, lafichach la'eichel lecha. Therefore, the halach is that I can't eat from him, then he's not allowed to go ahead and eat from him. Right? Na'im Mishnah. Mishnah says, ha'omer lechavero kainem pi medaber imcha. Person says, right? I'm forbidding myself from speaking with you. Yadai oisemach, or from my hand, or from working with you. Ragli, or my legs, right? Or forbid myself to walk with you. All of these are awesome. This is a matter. I Zakti Gemara V'Ramin who has your kasha Chayme b'Shavuos Nedarim. There is a Chumrah by Shavuos versus Nedarim. Uve Nedarim b'Shavuos. There's also a Chumrah by Shavuos. Chayme b'Nedarim. What's a Chumrah by Nedarim? Shah Nedarim Chalin ala Mitzvah. Person can say a neder is Chal ala Mitzvah. In other words, you can say this tefillin is also for me to get hanafa, or this tzitzis. Chalid al mitzvah can be rishus, just like rishus. Mashen can be shvuos. By shvuos, you can't make a shvua. I will not go ahead and wear tzitzis or a tefillin. That doesn't work. But I can say this pair of tefillin is usher to me. So therefore, there's the chilik between shvuos and adarim. And there's what's the chumrah by shvuos? Shvuos chalos al davar sheish b'mamish v'shei b'mamish. A shvuah can be chal in anything, right? Even on his actions, right? Or that he's going to do something or not do something. Ma'ashe'en kain b'nedarim. Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that if you want to say that tefillin are usher to me if that's the only one of the city where you can actually find tefillin that day?
Well, that item you can answer an item, but you can't. But
even if you can't do the mitzvah because you answered.
Right. So you had to find another one. Right.
And if you can't find another one, you have to agree.
Right. Then right.
What if the person doesn't have?
So let's say. So let's just finish up. So it says Amar Rav Yehuda. So Mashen came in Nedarim as opposed to Nedarim. Now we see over here Shavuos can be chal on, let's say, doing an action or even an item. Mashen came a neder is only chal on an item, on an article. But over here he's forbidding his talking, or his working with, or his walking with, right? He's answering an action. An action is considered davar she'ein bo mamish, right? You can't hold a walking. You can't hold it, right? It's not a physical thing, right? So how can this neder be chal if he's forbidding talking with the person? So Rav Yehuda b'aymer yaser pi l'diburi yodei l'maseim ragli elucha. He's saying no, my mouth is also from speaking with you. So therefore, he's answering his mouth. Right, my hands are forbidden from working with you. Right, my legs are also from walking with you. So I'm not answering the walking. I'm answering my legs. So therefore, it's not something physical. The economic, you can also make a difference. The Torah, it says over there, pi medaber imcha. Right, the lashon in the Mishnah is my mouth from speaking with you. Below Tani shani medaber imach. Right, that which I speak of you is us. So he says my mouth is us for you. So therefore, we see that the nether is chal on his body parts, and therefore that can be chal as much as just says. Hajalah.